Do it.
Done.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Fast Charging with BnB. I'm Brian.
And I'm Bear, and it doesn't look like my crap is working.
It's so
Son
good.
of a...
Such high quality. It's okay. I was on the wrong screen when we went live because I was double checking something. But you know what? That's what happens when you're on the bleeding edge of technology, live streaming on two different channels at the same time.
We are incredible. We are incredible. And you know what? I was on the right stream and everything's fine. It just took that long to pop up. Literally 30 seconds. So I don't know what is causing your slowdown on your internet that you were talking about, but apparently it's contagious.
Well, for viewers at home, my buffering issue may resolve next week. There is now fiber where I live, and I will be switching to that from Starlink. So if anybody wants to buy a dishy, let me know in the comments below.
So are you knocking Starlink?
I will be dropping Starlink. Starlink is 110, and there are two problems I have. One is the upspeed is unacceptably slow for large files, and the second is buffering, man. Buffering. It kills me.
I thought that they were supposed to be taking care of that with Starlink. Are there plans for more satellites, or can you even find that? No, I mean for your air.
I don't today mean, at 7 p.m.
I don't mean that. I know that they're constantly launching them. I mean, like over where you're at or your area of the country. Are they putting in more satellites there, or are they just these?
They go everywhere. It's space.
I don't think you.
You mean more ground stations?
No, they're supposed to. You know, when they first started off, you would have one satellite for every, let's say, 50 miles. Okay.
The problem is they're sporadic.
All right.
So sometimes you'll have 5 connections, and sometimes you'll have 2, and that's when you have problems.
Okay, yeah. So that's so like a GPS satellite where you could find out how many satellites you've connected to. You're getting anywhere from 2 to 5.
Yes. I mean, it's probably more like 3 to 8, but I assume they're oversubscribed. So when I'm only connecting to 3, when I've only got 3 overhead, there's too many people connecting.
Okay. All right.
It's still a wonderful service. I recommend it very highly for folks who do not have faster options, but I require a faster service.
Yes. YouPorn requires a very high rate of speed.
Oh, yeah. And that's where, that's my second channel. That's my third channel. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not a subscriber. You're hosting a channel.
On OnlyFans, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I am going to assure you right now, my friend, there is not a market for that.
There's a market for everything.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, me and my wife were thinking about starting an OnlyFans page, and we were going to put my sister-in-law's feet on there because she's got some really like
gnarled,
twisted. Yeah, her foot looks like a boomerang. So we were we were just going to take pictures and put them up there and see if we can make money off of people with weird foot fetishes. We weren't going to tell her either. So.
Are we doing a show today, or
no? We're talking about foot fetishes. So if anyone's interested in that and you think I should start that page, put in the comments. But hey, let's talk about Volkswagen and how they're doing, shall we?
Did you know that the 2023 ID4 will start at $37,495?
Yeah, that's a good price, but where's the but?
Well,
you get a smaller battery.
You get a smaller battery, yeah.
Yeah.
But will you get some discount with the new EV credits? Maybe. I mean, it'll be assembled in North America at the new Tennessee factory. So you may get a partial rebate credit on that. Okay. Anything under 40 right now is just about magical.
Yeah, it is. And, there's a couple cars coming in the future, but we're just going to have to wait for them. But this is like right around the corner. I am disappointed to see the lower battery, which is obviously going to lower the range. And if you've been watching this show, all 7 of you, you know that I am all about range. I think it's very important.
Well, and that's, I think, a disconnect between the German executives and the American consumer is in Europe, distances are relatively close together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, if you wanted to drive to the next major metro from Phoenix, how far is it?
Well, you'd be talking about Los Angeles, or you'd be talking about Las Vegas, or
Could you
Albuquerque.
burn through a whole battery getting to the other side of Phoenix?
On this Volkswagen ID4,
Mm-hmm.
what is the range?
Well, I don't know if it says here. 275 is what it says. Oh no, that's for the larger. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, with traffic and with air conditioning,
So, Brian and I were talking about this earlier.
208 is what it says.
208 is you're not
And,
from one side of Phoenix
please
to the
don't
other.
charge
No.
over 90.
Yeah. In the summertime here, the batteries get much less range for multiple reasons. One's the batteries are going to be hotter; they need to be cooled off, which takes energy. Then you throw in the air conditioning, which from May until late September is always on 10 on my Tesla. It's always on 10. You've got to go full max, and it's still the Teslas do not have the best air out of the cars that I have. So it's still not enough, and the glass roof doesn't help either. So a car like this, the ID4 208, it's definitely not going to work for me as far as my Toro fleet, because, again, Brian and I were talking about this. When I take a car to the airport, it's 35 miles, and I don't like to deliver a car. Well, you're not supposed to charge them past 90. So if I start at 90 and I'm driving 35 miles, I'm going to lose 25% just getting the car there. And I don't want to deliver a car with 65%. So I typically start at 100, I overcharge them, and I lower it down to 90 on my way there. This car at 208, I couldn't drop a car off in starting at 90%. It would be at 60% by the time I get there. It doesn't work for like a Toro fleet, because those are definitely all about range.
For sure.
There's always a market for short range cars, and our future is going to be like, oh, well, that's a short range car, that's a long range car. People aren't going to look at so much the gas prices, I think, or the fuel prices, the fueling of the electricity will, because like the Hummer gets a really bad rating, the F-150 gets a bad rating, the Lucid gets great, the Volkswagen ID4 might get a good one, I don't know. But they're going to look at how far the car can drive, not how well of the EPA equivalent gas mileage is. It's just my thoughts,
Sure.
But we can't live on this article, so it's time to move on.
Yeah, we got to keep moving because we're 9 minutes in and we're on the second article.
Hey, well,
Mazda MX-30, they're selling pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, this GM levels.
Their Hummer Q4 levels times 8.
Yeah. Yeah, so 8 units. Do they not want to make them? Are they selling them
Correct.
somewhere else?
They're compliance cars. They're junk. They're only sold in California to meet the stricter requirements there. They have a range of like 100 miles, and they're more expensive than a Bolt.
All right. So just for the record, the Solo, the Electromechanica Solo, gets 100 miles.
So dumb. I don't know what Mazda's thinking. Yeah. EPA range 100 miles, top speed 87. Hold on to your butts. You're going to have people flashing their high beams at you in the slow lane if you try and go to Vegas, but don't worry, you won't make it.
No, that's true. You will not make it. I haven't tried the Electrify America charging stations from here to Vegas yet, and I don't think I probably will, because I don't want it. If I got a car that goes 400 miles, I'm not going to take one that goes 250. But I don't think you can go through the desert, leaving Phoenix, and to find enough Electrify America stations or the Plugshare or whoever, to get to go 100 miles. Because it's not 100 miles. It's never 100 miles. So
No.
yeah, nice.
No, and not with the heat, and not with the AC, and not with highway speeds. Yeah.
It's amazing how much money is spent.
Is there anything coming up that gets more than 100 miles of range?
Prototypes.
Let's hear it.
I love prototypes.
I do too.
Because prototypes aren't concept cars; they're actually a car. So,
Yeah.
this is a interesting looking car. It kind of looks like one of those '60s James Bond cars.
Oh, I was going to say it looks like a '90s RX-7.
I see that. But this is four-door, so we got to give it
Yeah.
that. So Mercedes-Benz Vision EQXX completes a record-breaking 747-mile run in May. That's impressive. I wonder if they had the air conditioning on.
For sure not, but who cares? Okay, so you only get 650, 600.
Yeah. No, I think that's great, and I think these are the things that companies need to be doing, is trying to see what they can do to get the longest distance that they can. I want to see them start break. Well, we're going to make a 1,000-mile car. We're going to make a 1,200-mile car, and just to improve on the technology.
Right. This is the new Formula One race. I hope make concepts in limited numbers that can do amazing things and let the better parts of the technology trickle down to the rest of the fleet.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, from what I read, it did not. It's not a very fast car either, though. It's 7 seconds to 0 to 60. But
so I'm going to disagree, because 7 seconds is still plenty fast.
Yeah, it is. But I'm talking about what we're kind of used to in a lot of the other electric cars, because the slow ones I have are coming in just over 5 seconds. But here's the thing: if I had a car like this, if I could find a car that had 740 miles of range, and I could rent that out on Turo, people are going to be impressed by the 7 seconds, just like you said. It's going to be faster than their Honda Accord. They're going to get into it. They're going to be like, oh, this is zippy. And then they're going to drive forever.
Right.
So
they might return it without ever having charged it.
That's true. That is really true.
Now, let's see if it can leave the lab.
Yes. Too bad.
We're only 3 stories in. We got to pick it up.
No.
Do you know that all 50 states...
Well, let's do 2 hours today. Who's up for 2 hours? Let's hear it in the comments. Okay.
All 50 states, D.C., and Puerto Rico have submitted plans for national EV charging network.
I wonder if...
So, the infrastructure bill allocated a bunch of money. But you got to submit plans to get that money, and everybody's ready to get into it.
That's pretty quick, though, don't you think? For 50 states that have plans, because you got states like North Dakota and Missouri, and they have like 7 EVs combined in those 2 states. And
yeah, but their plan is probably for 7 chargers. Their plan is probably for 1 charger, copy paste.
Yeah, but you've got to. Don't you have to plan a little bit more than that? Like, there's got to be power sources, and is it going to be clean energy that's going to be, or is there anything?
When it comes to buckets of free money, you can allocate experts.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's see.
By the way, Tech Fixer has said that he is good with 2 hours, and I am too, but, these are, I got to get the super chats if that's going to happen.
Yeah. Skeeterman just deleted his message, but he said, let's go hours, and then he deleted it. But,
he had a change of heart. I can't blame him.
JJ. JJ says
oh my gosh!
Yeah, his wife says 7 seconds is fast.
I mean,
I don't know. I haven't seen his wife, so
I disagree. My wife says 7 seconds is my new record.
you congratulations, you held out. Oh, okay.
Do you know that Plugshare is up to 600,000 locations? That's a 50% increase from a year ago.
Okay. Where are they?
Well, so first of all, these are like mostly level 2, I believe. And they're really spread out, and they're like not very many plugs per location. But hey, man.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of level 2 chargers. They might be good in apartment buildings and apartment buildings, and I'm trying to think of something else. But it's good for people's residents. They are not good for people who are renting cars and go to them and plug them in. Is this really going to take me 17 hours? I'm like, yeah, you're at the wrong place.
Yeah, you go to Walgreens, you plug into a Plugshare, and you come out half hour later and you've picked up 14 miles of range.
No, you won't.
Really? That's slow.
It depends on at what level they're really at. If they're a 50, well, I don't know where the cutoff is between level 2 and level 3. I don't know the numbers, but if you're on a simple 240, and if it's not a DC charger, okay, if it's a level 2 AC charger, you're not going to get more than 40-ish or 30 to 40. You got to understand, and a lot of people don't understand this, is that like the Chevy Bolt on a DC charger, you know what its max charge rate is? 55 kilowatts. So,
oh, wow.
So you see a 125 kilowatt Electrify America charging station, you get all excited, you plug in, it's still not going to go more than 55 kilowatts. So
here's something worse. Jason Rogers just commented, anyone can list on Plugshare. I could put my charger on it.
That's true. Okay. That is true. I have seen that because the Polestar, I have the Plugshare app on it, and I'm driving around looking for, like, I hit the button for it. It's giving me all these random chargers, and I'm like, these aren't anything I can use. So I'm not sure what the point of. I would have to look into Plugshare some more to find out why would you want to list your charging cable, your charger on Plugshare.
If you have an Airbnb.
Okay. But
I don't know.
But how does that help you? I mean, if you have someone who has an electric car, they rent your Airbnb, you're going to tell them that it has an electric charger. Do you want the general public to know that you have an electric charger? Come on over, plug in, park the car for the night. So, just saying.
No, I'm with you. With that,
I'm sure if I looked into this more, and I probably will in the future, being that now that I have 2 cars that are non-Tesla supercharging cars, I do want to get more educated on Electrify America. I have had multiple experiences with Electrify America. We're at 3 now. 2 times I had to call support. 1 time it went flawlessly. So now it's time to talk about those people.
Well, real quick, what is your hit to miss ratio on Tesla superchargers?
I once pulled up at one, it didn't work, and I pulled away from that bay and I went to another one. And that's
it.
That's it.
Oh man.
And
okay.
There is also it's a spoken rule, but not a written rule, that if there's a problem with a Tesla charger, you take the cable and you lay it over the top.
Oh.
But then some goody two-shoes Karen is going to come by and hang it up. But if you ever see one that's not hung up, it's because it's not working.
Skip it.
The Senate passes the Inflation Reduction Act. What it means for EVs. What do you think it means? And then I'll tell you why I think something else.
We're gonna have some things to say about this. So first of all, even small steps in the right direction are small steps in the right direction. But on this, I half wonder if we're tripping over ourselves a little bit.
Tripping on your beep.
Yeah. Something I've never done. But, it will add the potential for more credits in the future, which may or may not come. Let's hear what you're thinking.
Well, I see one good thing coming out of this, but it's going to take 5 to 10 years. And that is the fact that we are trying to source minerals from the United States and from North America and from our free trade partners, which there are only 20 countries, and most of the countries on that list do not have these resources, or they're not readily available in the sense that they're already mining them. So it will bring in, over time, it could, because these car companies could just say, we're not doing that. We're going to just keep getting our minerals from China. Our consumers don't get the tax credit. It's going to cost us billions of dollars to set up the infrastructure required to get our minerals from somewhere else. So, and
Right.
it could be more costly to get it here in the United States. So, if it's more costly to do it that way instead of China, is it going to be worth it? They're going to really be crunching numbers. There are so many cars excluded. Which tab is that? We have so many tabs on this.
It's 3 away.
Okay.
So
3
we'll
away.
get to that. But looking at the next one I've got is the benchmarkminerals.com one. What does U.S. Inflation Reduction Act mean for the EV battery supply chain? And basically, like you said, the short answer is it's going to motivate domestic production, but is it going to motivate it enough? Does enough of that 7,500 trickle all the way up to the mining? And I'm going to argue it probably doesn't. But battery production domestically, we've got a lot of battery factories coming online over the next 3 years. And a lot of this does phase in over time. But there's some dumb stuff in this and some dumb stuff missing.
Yeah.
One frustration I have, no 3-wheelers.
Yeah, that's I've got my sights on an electric 3-wheeler in the future, but it hasn't been announced yet. Yeah, but I would definitely be on board with that. You got the Electromechanica Solo, you've got the Arcimoto, so there's some out there already.
Yeah,
I think if you look at this, it actually on the surface it seems like it benefits Tesla the most, but on the other side, Tesla and GM, because they're going to be put into the credit. They make a lot of their vehicles in the United States, and they're selling them in the United States. But on the flip side of that, they don't have the production. If there is so much demand for EVs, it actually makes this entire thing 100% unnecessary right now. Might change in a year or two. If there wasn't a supply issue, then this would be very helpful to implement EVs. But right now it's going to do absolutely nothing because all the EVs that are being made are produced.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, all the EVs that are produced are being bought. Every single one of them. There's none sitting there going, well, if I could afford this, I'd buy this today. Because that person is not there. There's no car. I heard a comparison. It's like if there's a car that's wanted, if there's 4,000 orders for, let's say, a Kia EV6, and there's only 2,000 cars, and those you've got 6,000 people who want them, but 2,000 of them need the tax incentive. Well, there's only 2,000 cars. There's already 4,000 people that want it. Those other 2,000 that need a tax credit doesn't matter because all the cars are sold. They don't sit on the lot, and they're being sold for a $10,000 markup, which means some of our friends in the dealerships are going to go, let's mark this up a little bit more and remind them that they're getting a tax credit. They literally can do that because you can get this tax credit when you sign the papers. So they can increase the price $5,000 and then give you $2,500 back. And who's getting that money?
So the list of free trade agreement countries includes Australia, who is a mining giant, Canada, and Mexico, which we are both. And then at the bottom of the list is USMCA, which is Canada and Mexico. And then, like, a lot of countries that don't really have minerals. Bahrain, okay, I guess. Israel, they're not mineral rich.
No.
Chile's on there. That's nice. They are absolutely mineral rich, but this list is too short.
Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, they're not mining islands. They are.
No, they used to have gold, but the Spanish had an opinion about that.
Well, yes, but the Spanish now have gold. So
yeah.
So the list is not very big. I was actually surprised when I first heard of this. I looked, let me see who's listed there, and I'm like,
well, it's 20 countries. It's got to be a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then you see which ones they are. Yeah, nothing quite like that pure refined Honduran nickel.
Oh yes. You was that a segue to our nickel article? No, it wasn't, was it?
No, it's the next one is the list of what we believe are the currently eligible vehicles
Oh, is that the one starting with the Cadillac Lyric?
It's the one.
I'm all over the place because I had no tags, like I told you. So the Rivian is on this, but we're not even sure if it should be.
Yeah, Rivian will have to reduce their prices substantially to make this list.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to qualify. Lordstown Endurance is vaporware right now, so that's really doesn't even
Yeah,
count.
you have to sell the truck. And by the way, 52 grand, not a chance. Not a chance, my friend.
I told you it was gonna. That's what they said was 50 grand, but
And this isn't for the full credit because a lot of these people are not sourcing their batteries or their minerals from compliant countries.
yeah.
So as of today, the list is a little brutal.
Yeah. Now, we didn't fact check this list and make sure it's 100% correct, but the more you look into uh, where these minerals are coming from and other information regarding assembly, you realize that the list gets smaller and smaller. And we still don't know for sure if it's going to be base price MSRP or MSRP after options.
It's got to be after options, I would think, but you know, this will get sorted out in the coming months.
Yeah.
What's really unfortunate is that the $7,500 credit that a lot of companies were kind of counting on, like Lucid and Rivian, disappear in a few months.
Yes.
Because this replaces them. So I don't know, man. It's a mixed bag.
Well,
No. So the Verge of news, the Verge of credibility is saying no electric vehicles on the market today qualify for the new EV tax credit.
yeah, this article is a little flaky because we know that's not true. And then when you go through the article, it does say
It clarifies.
it clarifies, but it was a clickbait title because, why not? They got me to click on it.
Well, yeah. But I would agree that none of them probably qualify for 100% of the fully phased allowance.
Yeah, that's very, very possible. Um, I'm very glad that there is some sort of grandfather clause that is in this bill. So if you are somebody who has purchased something this year or have put in an order, it will carry over, and like next year you would be able to use this year's credit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're thinking about ordering and your car is not going to be on the list next year, it's a good time. It's a good time to order.
And certainly not for 7,500. Now, did you see that there's a list out showing the 55 best-selling battery electric vehicles for the first half of 2022 in Europe?
Yes, I love the way they did their little graph with the full battery thing. That is very cute. It's very
I also like the
clever.
extremely confusing circles with numbers in them. By the way, that means on the Fiat 500, there's an electric version which makes up 38% of the sales.
What the hell am I looking at?
So on the Fiat 500, that 38 means that 38% of the Fiat 500s are electric because they use the same model number for the electric and gas. It's dumb.
So wait a minute.
But anyway,
The 32,000 only 38.
no, that's real.
Okay.
That's real, but it's only 38% of the 500s.
Are BEVs.
Ignore it. Move past it. So Tesla Model Y and 3 at the top, but that's not what I'm here. I mean, obviously, I'm here to say that.
Okay.
But these are respectable numbers. The Fiat 500, 32,000. That's good units.
But you just said it wasn't.
208.
It's only 38% of that number.
No, it's not 38% of that. The real number is 100 and something thousand. 38% of which is 32,000.
Okay, that's what I was just trying to clarify.
Gotcha.
Please stop getting mad at me.
Oh, no. No, you cannot make me. Peugeot 208, 23,000. Respectable. ID4, 23,000. And you look, I mean, once you get to about the 20,000 range, there's a bunch of cars in that range.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And these are all real, serious contenders.
Yeah, and I know that EV6 is going to go up that list.
Oh.
Yeah, that I like that car, and I still need to get my hands on one.
I still think it's one of the prettier ones of that form factor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I drove the one that was the GT model with the dual motor, and it was neck snapping.
Nice.
So it was fun.
But obviously Tesla can't dominate everywhere.
Yes, they can.
Really?
Yes. California, they are rocking it.
So they're the number one EV in California?
They are the number one EV model, not by
EV. They're the number one car and the number two car.
Right. By model, they've got first and second spot. They beat everybody.
Everybody, including the gas boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a really that's something to really take in, is that they are beating the ICE vehicle sales. And there was I think it wasn't this this might have been it on the Squawk Box where they talked about it. Saw it on Twitter where they talked about how Tesla is crushing it. They crushed Toyota. They got a higher percentage in Toyota, Ford, GM of car sales, not just electric cars, but car sales.
Yeah. Year over year, 82% gain.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
And they're still production limited.
They are, and they're looking to get that Fremont plant up to 600,000 and possibly 650,000 before the end of the year.
I believe it.
Rumor has it. So.
Did you hear that Governor Scott in Vermont has added a Lightning to his fleet, to his little security transportation situation?
Well, that's kind of cool as long as they're not towing anything.
You know what? Love it. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Right into that.
I'd like you to handle this one because this.
This was very disappointing to see this. The Ford F-150 Lightning struggled in our towing test. They towed a 3,100, a 5,300, and a 7,200 pound trailer RV on a Lightning, and the results were a little bit better than awful. No, they were a little bit worse than awful. This was within this vehicle's towing capacity, which was actually 10,000 pounds. But it just literally they figured they're going to get about 80 miles of range towing this trailer. They did slightly better with the ones that weighed less, so there is an aerodynamic issue that is causing this.
And did you see how much the as-equipped test model cost?
Oh, Jesus.
$92,669. Nice. The platinum trim.
Yeah, the platinum trim. Which, by the way, the price is going up.
Ugh, is it?
Yes.
Is that our next one?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. We'll get to that, but
we'll talk about
and by the way, $92,669. What's the out the door price you think on that?
Well, you throw in a $50,000 dealer markup.
Even without that, you've got your sales tax.
Yes.
Your title, your license, your delivery. You're talking 110, don't you think?
Close, very close to it. It's too much. You are at 110 now that I think about it. My Model S was 95, and it was done at 110 with taxes and all that stuff. But yeah, $110,000 if you're looking at 95.
To tow less than your capacity, 80 miles. Oh, and I'm not cracking down on Ford here. It's just the physics.
Yeah.
We've got some room to improve.
Yeah, so the Cybertruck will actually do somewhat better on that because the Cybertruck, it has better aerodynamics.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to do much better unless they have found the holy grail of towing.
Right. And we'll have to wait until it comes out.
Yeah.
But it's fun to complain. Any other bad news out there? That's probably it, right?
Not if you're looking for an IONIQ 5.
Oh, really? Because a lot of people are. What's wrong?
Chip shortage.
Yeah. The Infineon chip flaws disrupt IONIQ 5 EV production. Deliveries will likely be delayed for more than a year.
So is it delays or just like, hey, we're not making them?
Well, flaws in its the line has something wrong in it. It's got a gremlin and they can't track it down, so they've got to, I assume, kind of rebuild the line to make the chips completely from scratch.
Well, the IONIQ is based on the same platform as the Kia EV6, so is the EV6 affected by this?
I don't know.
Because I haven't seen anything about that.
I haven't seen anything about that. Could be that they're using a different product.
It could be.
But if those are the only bits of bad news we've got this week, I think we're doing good.
Not if you've bought a Ferrari recently.
Oh, I've bought several. Ferrari's recalling nearly every car it's sold since '05.
For brake failure.
Well, who cares? You'll stop eventually.
Yeah, that's what trees are for.
Yeah, light poles, pedestrians. Not so much that. But
pedestrians don't stop you that well.
No, make a mess. So, and this isn't to criticize Ferrari. This is just to remind people that recalls are a fact of life.
For all auto manufacturers.
All auto manufacturers. And this won't bankrupt them. I wonder if they can fix it over the air.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
No. I heard that most Ferrari owners can't afford the over-the-air connectivity. So
yeah, well, it's like $10 a month. Where are they going to come up with that after paying for their $5,000 oil change? Did you know that there's a rumor, and I don't know how much faith to put in this, that the electric Camaro is dead in favor of an electric Corvette, which they then may make as an SUV like the Panamera?
I think that somebody will get crucified if they make the Corvette a four-door vehicle.
I think so too. But you know what? The current iteration of the Corvette, which is down at the bottom here, looks like a European supercar already.
Yes.
Have you seen them in real life?
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
I sat in one and I actually fit.
Could you get out?
Yeah. It wasn't that bad. I've gotten out of Corvettes before where I'm kind of like crawling on my hands until I have enough space to stand up. This one was not that bad. I was actually surprised and impressed. So,
David Huber says Tesla needs a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack that fits in the bed of the Cybertruck that you can lease by the month for vacation towing.
How much?
Although, what's your weight at now? You're probably you're not going to be towing much, would be my guess. Hey, did you know? Are you familiar with the channel Fully Charged?
I've heard of it.
Well, they have like 916,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I've heard of them somewhere.
Do you remember the TV show Red Dwarf?
That's a negative.
Oh. Anyway, he was the robot on that show, that very famous and beloved show. Well, since 2012, they've been running this Fully Charged. It started kind of offline and then moved online, and they were well positioned when YouTube came about, and they've made an empire out of this. And in September 10th and 11th, they got the world's largest home energy and electric vehicle show, and I have got a coupon code.
Oh, do you now?
MTW, My Tesla Weekend, MTW 15% off.
Nice.
Do you know why they gave me that?
Because you're so charming?
Because I'm hosting a panel.
Oh, wow.
I just found out today.
Well, congratulations.
I will be hosting. So if you'd like to see me live, come to the Fully Charged North America event and see me live.
In San Diego, huh?
Huh?
In San Diego?
Yeah. You're going to be on a ship.
I'm going to be on a ship. That's so disappointing now because I could have got a
Yeah.
free ticket. I'd do anything for a
Yeah.
free ticket to anything.
I'll spend $1,000 on a room and airfare to get a free ticket.
He's got a free ticket to the movies.
So yeah, how cool is that?
That is
They asked
very,
me to host a panel.
that is very cool. Have they met you?
What?
Have they met you?
Oh, certainly not.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
All right. So,
So that's my exciting news that I teased in the pre-show chat.
yeah, I don't have any exciting news. I did get a little bit excited because I saw that Ford reopens the F-150 Lightning orders.
So great. So great. So you got your order in?
No, I did not because
Why?
I went to the webpage. They did get the prices increased, which was fantastic to see. But they did not open up the ordering. So it is still not open, or I missed it and they closed it already, which is possible.
Yeah, Ford reopens F-150 Lightning orders, increases price 6 to 8.5K. STDs will get you an EPA to 240 miles.
STD?
That's what the headline says.
Does it come with penicillin?
I don't know if penicillin is included.
Okay.
I will check. I don't see anything about it. So
All
the
right.
good news on this front is that Ford is keeping more of the money. As they should. They need to make profit on these. I think they're losing money at the prices they're at already. I think increasing it, they might still lose money or barely break even. But right now, that premium is just going to the dealers.
Yes.
Who do not pay for factories, who do not pay for R&D. And if the market will bear these prices, then they will. And I know you're frustrated, so go ahead and tell me.
I'm frustrated because the prices that I've got up on the screen from this article are not correct. Except for Pro is $46,000. Yes, that's true. I think the XLT is. But when you go to, you have two choices on XLT. It's XLT or XLT high extended range.
Right. And we saw the Motor Trend one was testing one from last year that's way over these prices.
Yes. It was a Platinum that they were testing. So now the base price of a Platinum is $96,000. That's with no options. That's without destination or anything like that. So just to get an XLT model, which is not a high-end model on the Lightning, is $81,000 with the extended battery pack. The unextended battery pack is not sufficient for a truck, in my opinion. But, you know, I'm the guy who thinks 700 should be standard. I'm just a little blown away at these prices. Very, very high. And I'm not sure why when you go from an XLT to an XLT extended range, the price jumps $21,000. And I'm going to look into it a little bit more to try and figure that out. I know you get a larger battery, but you're not getting $21,000 worth of battery. So
I'll tell you, my theory is they want to be able to say starting at while offering a model that they know no one will buy.
Well, that's a fact. Unfortunately for them, you know, Ford is typically in the past, you know, produce 100,000 F-150s. They put random options and features. In Arizona, we get trucks on the lot that would come with a block heater. Okay, so they throw that stuff on there, and now they've sold it for $250, and it's worthless to me. And I've never had to use one. And you want
one more thing to go wrong.
Yeah, well, just one of those things. Hold on.
So dumb. Yeah, very frustrating. But I'm not worried because I think that once all these dealer markups go away, I think people just go back to happily buying from dealerships.
And not a chance. Not a chance. So, a little study says that 25% of car buyers won't return to a dealership that charge above MSRP. I don't agree with that number. I think
it's higher.
I think it's 100% of car buyers don't want to return to a dealership that charge above MSRP. but 0% have a choice. If I want to buy a Ford, I got to go to a dealer. If I want to buy a GM, I got to go to a dealer. So for now,
until GM Blue or Ford E, whatever,
the Ford Model E Blue thing, until that they start selling those online, that's when people are going to stop going. They're just not going to deal with dealerships if they have an option. It's going to be one of the perks of buying an EV is not dealing with paint protection and door edge guards and GPS tracking and all that.
And just the painful process.
Oh God, it's
too much.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I'd like to do at the doctor that I don't want to do at the doctor that are less painful than.
So I had an experience like that. I was at the doctor's office in the emergency room, and my wife is standing out in the hallway, and the nurse comes over to comfort her and says, "I'm sorry, is everything okay with you?" She goes, "Oh, I'm fine. He's getting checked." So, oh, well, I'm sorry for him then. That was unpleasant. Welcome to your 40s. Late 40s.
Yeah. Well, speaking of 40s, Nikola topped revenue expectations, and they delivered 48 trucks.
Never heard of them. What do?
They are an imaginary company. They don't make anything.
By the way, what a great picture.
You like that?
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. It's not real. I'm just saying.
Well, no, that's real. It's just it's not Photoshop, it's Lightroom. It's just enhanced, but it's likely
I think this may be the whole thing. Well, the truck is computer generated. I'm not.
Do you think that's a render? Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because I don't think I've seen that truck.
Oh, yeah.
There's one black truck, and I don't think it looks like that.
So, quick question: how many cabs have you seen?
Oh my God, hundreds.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, there's just cabs lined up, waiting for assembly on the outside, and I think our highest number that we counted was 128, and just doing the math on what they have to produce before the end of the year to reach their production goal, which their stated goals are 300 to 500 trucks. They've got 48 already delivered. That was in the second quarter. They say in the third quarter they're going to do 60 to 75, and by the time we get to November 1st, they will be doing 5 trucks a shift. And if you do the math on that, that's another 160 trucks. And that means in October, they just need to do 32 more trucks and they would reach the 300. So it is achievable that they actually go over 300. So,
and I think by the end of Q4, we'll see, we'll get a better idea of what their price actually is and what their margin actually is.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see it that soon. They said in their earnings call that they're going to suffer because of a deal that they made with Romeo Power. So their margins are going to go up in order to get these battery packs from Romeo. So that's gonna have a little bit of a hit. I think it's going to be mid to late next year before we get a real good idea of what the margin is going to be on the battery electric.
One thing that Jason Rogers pointed out is that picture that I was praising would look better if it didn't look like it was rolling down a hill.
Yeah.
Fair.
That is fair. Before you actually said that, I had a feeling you were going to say that because it does have that look.
I didn't notice it. But I think they're positioned well. I think the market is still. I think they have a first mover advantage right now, and I think they're reasonably well positioned to capitalize on it.
Yes, I agree.
And I think that the issuance of new stock was a necessary critical condition for the acquisition of Romeo.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't actually. I think they had that in their pocket.
Well, they paid stock. You think they had enough stock left to do that?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think they had that in their pocket and they were ready to go with it. I think that all worked out for them, and I think that they didn't announce it until they were like, well, we're pretty sure we're gonna get this tomorrow, and it happened the next day. So,
I think they'd have been wise to not make the acquisition if they didn't get the approval. They would have needed that cushion to sell shares to stay afloat.
They still have quite a bit of cash on hand. This issuance of the shares was needed like for next year.
Mm-hmm.
They already had a year's worth of cash at the end of quarter. I think it was quarter one or quarter two. I don't remember. So that's their plan, is to always have enough cash on hand for the next year.
Well, the thing is, like, if you're going to sell these trucks to a state like, I don't know, New York. Can you get any discounts?
If you have, you can get a military discount, I believe, and
AAA,
AARP, and you can also get $185,000 incentive per truck. I don't know.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's
$185,000 incentive. Now, I apologize. This is a story from June, but I only found it today, even though it's on Nikola's website.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've covered this. I think we mentioned the California one.
Yeah, the only reason we're covering it, I knew that this happened, but we hadn't covered it.
So we covered it on your stream, but not on here.
Yeah, more than likely. So yeah, that's quite a bit of change. I do know that there's at least 5 trucks up in Syracuse, New York, at a dealer, and they are selling them for, I think, $425,000. Where Nikola was, I think they originally said the purchase price was going to be $350,000. So
that's what I thought was $350,000.
Yeah, but the dealer is selling them, so I believe the dealer may have a little bit of, that's their profit, or that's where they start negotiating from. But I'm not sure. So those vehicles are up for sale.
But anyhow you slice it, 185 off is monumental.
Yes. Hopefully there's enough incentive out there. Like this isn't a fund that only has $185,000 in it, and it
right. But who else is going to apply for it?
People buying those garbage trucks that go 100 miles.
Yeah, I guess maybe. But what I mean is, even if this is limited to just a few $1 million,
mm-hmm.
There's not very many options to impact it.
Yes.
Anybody else making EVs in the desert?
Oh, no.
You got me.
Yeah. So Lucid's earnings report was the opposite of Nikola's. Nikola is right on their plan. They didn't lower any expectations, and they didn't raise any either. But Lucid has cut their projections from 12 to 14,000 to 6 to 7,000. The earnings call was painful to listen to. I don't know. Did you listen to it?
I listened to yours after the fact, and I even commented, "Oh man, I wish I caught this live."
Yeah. I didn't talk over it. I waited, but there was a lot of time spent talking about how great the car is, and how they're working out some quality issues, that they're not happy with the car, so they're not shipping them. Wouldn't tell us what they were, but to me, that's why these cars are sitting in the lot like they have been. And
but we're going to build more race cars.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's another division, just like the stealth car. Did you see the stealth Lucid that was introduced yesterday?
Yeah, the matte black.
Yeah. You know what? Cool. Looks great. I'm sure when you put it out, you'll have a supply issue, and we won't see it. Let's not. It's what Tesla did earlier this year or late last year. Says, well, we're not going to bring out the Cybertruck. We're not going to bring out the $25,000 car. We're not going to bring out the Semi. And we're not going to bring out the Roadster until 2023. We're going to spend 2022 working on ramping up our production. That's our goal for 2022. So, sorry guys, no new models. I would like to see Lucid kind of buckle down and figure out where in their production they're having an issue. If it's actually quality, find out where on the line it is. If it's the quality of parts that are coming in, find another supplier. but they are not producing enough vehicles. They did not even say how many vehicles they produced. They said they delivered 679, and they said for the year they've delivered, I think it was 14, or they've produced 405 vehicles. It's right at the bottom of my page. 1,405 vehicles so far this year. So you had to go back to quarter one earnings to find out how many they produced in quarter one and do the math. They would not even say how many they produced. And I'm not gonna use the word deceptive, but it kind of feels that way. Give us the numbers, tell us what the holdup is, tell us what you're doing to fix it, and blaming logistics and all these other things. These things are always going to be issues if the logistics was already there of bringing in these supplies, and just say what the problem is. But stop telling us how great the car is. I know the
you
car's
may
great.
You may not want to impeach his credibility, but I will. I do not trust Peter Rollins. I think I don't know. His accent is his greatest asset and perhaps his only one. I do not trust him. And do you think, having produced 1,400 cars, that they're going to hit 7,000 in the back half?
Keeping in mind that we're already 1 month into the second half, and
right.
And we see how many cars are out there. So,
right. Do you think they can hit 7,000 in 22?
Definitely not 7,000, but Mark has a good idea. Maybe Peter should call Elon and ask for help.
I don't think Elon would be opposed.
I don't know. He's an out of the box thinker, and I think there may be too many people who are thinking in the box. My son looks at this and goes, from quarter one, he's still saying the same thing. They have $4 billion in the bank and they can't get glass and carpet. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I understand, but you're not spending all those $4 billion, but you should have the best of the best there. You need to figure out what is slowing this down. I don't see them getting to these 6,000 unless something changes real soon. And I will be one of the first people to see it change and be able to say, wow, we saw 4 car haulers today. They're all full, and we're seeing cars coming out of that building constantly. But
Mark Hickman said Tesla claimed to be driven to vertical integration for precisely that reason, because as a small player, they couldn't get priority treatment.
Yeah, I got a couple guys on my side here who still don't like Elon, and that's fine. JJ. And
they don't have to.
Yeah. No matter what you think of the guy, that company is producing more cars than other companies right now.
They have done what other startups are still trying to do, and it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Lordstown Motor is still alive? They turned a profit, Bear.
Okay.
Guess how many cars they delivered?
0.
You got it on your first guess. Oh, that's right. 0 is the correct number, but they made a profit by selling their factory to Foxconn.
That's like if I sold my kids and I made a whole bunch of money, I'd be like, oh, I made a whole bunch of money. Yeah, but now who's taking out the garbage,
Right. You sold your golden goose. Where are you going to build your trucks, Lordy?
Right. So, yeah, well, Foxconn is supposed to make the trucks for them. Maybe having someone else come in there is going to be what actually makes these vehicles, but I don't see it in the foreseeable future.
I honestly don't see it as a bad move. First of all, I thought they were already dead, and Foxconn knows production.
I think the stock is really cheap.
The market cap is
$12.
Well under $1 billion, I think. It's on here.
Somebody look that up for us. Lordstown Motors stock price and market cap.
Here it is, 614 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, a swell deal at still not interested.
Yeah, now that they've sold their only asset, now their stock's really worthless.
Yeah. Well, they've got cash, but it's not enough. They're going to need another 50 to 75 million this year. And we'll need additional capital next year.
And
let's finish on a high note.
Shall we? This is cute.
Not? Isn't it?
I like it. I like it. I probably won't fit in it, but I like it. I think it's adorable.
Yeah.
And
do you remember that wacky cartoon from the 70s or 80s with a buggy like that?
Yeah, and he talked, right?
Yeah. Anybody in the comments, tell us what that was. I think it's adorable. These are gorgeous little renders. And what I love is there's a part in the article where it says, and it's real. Real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's really rare.
Well, we really incorporated some of the people from the original buggy design. I mean, it's not a real car. Is that important? Is that part important?
Is that a render or is that a prototype?
There is no way that's real.
Yeah, it's not, because I'm looking at one of the pictures and the vehicle has a shadow, but the plants next to it do not.
Is that the one from the back quarter?
Yes.
The other one I noticed is the one from dead on the front. The suspension is perfectly 90 degrees from the axle, which is not how any car sits. And the tires are not compressed to the ground at all.
They're like balloons.
Yeah. They're like circles. It's adorable. I have no doubt they could absolutely make one that looks exactly like this.
Yeah.
But they haven't.
So,
there's one with a guy. Yeah, that's still a render. That's still a render.
Could you imagine me sitting in that and that roll bar is actually about like chest high for me?
So, did you see what the battery pack size is?
No, what was it? 20?
Well, there's two choices, a 40 kilowatt hour and, of course, the smaller 20 kilowatt hour.
That's actually not bad.
Really?
Well,
I think it's important to keep the weight down, and that would do it.
The Electromechanica Solo, I think their battery pack was 14 or 17 kilowatts. It's pretty small, but you got 100 miles out of that. I could see these two being similar weight.
Well, it says 15 to 1650.
Oh, well, that's dead on.
16.
Dead on. I think the Mechanica was that. Well, actually, I could be making that up.
Well, the Mechanica has a roof.
It does. So.
And doors.
And doors, yeah.
It says 150 mile range. But obviously, if you're in the sand, you can cut that by 80%.
Yeah.
Because sand.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's still hella cute. I mean, gotta go with that.
Daniel says, and it has 4 tires, so it can get the EV credit.
I don't know if this is street legal, so it may not qualify if it's not street legal.
Well, it's got plates. But you're right. This does not appear street legal. No, there's no way in hell you can.
It doesn't take much to make it street legal.
Well, you buy it as a kit, and you do very minimal attachments, and then you can license it, but you wouldn't get the credit for that.
Yeah. You need a horn, a license plate light.
Blinkers?
No.
Headlights?
No, you don't need blinkers, but you do need headlights. Yeah, it's well, at least in this state, in Arizona. I bet it's actually different in others, because like in California, you probably need a basement or something to make it street legal.
You can build it yourself, that's fine, but you do need B-pillar airbags.
Oh yeah, it's a 4-seater or 4-wheeler.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're screwed.
Yeah, did you know that a big reason you and me are able to do this is because of our amazing Patreons?
Yes, they are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, and thanks to all you guys, and thanks to those of you who subscribe on Bear's channel and those of you who subscribe on my channel. We both work our butts off for about $1,
Dollar.
especially on my OnlyFans.
I'm doing $1.25, so I don't know what you're doing
Oh,
wrong.
that's right, inflation. No one told me.
Yeah. So I don't know if I thank JJ for his super chat, but thank you. And he said classic Brian and no news.
Kind of hurtful.
Yeah. We'll have a little counseling session after this. I'll get.
Well, I mean, I'm the one who went out of my way to find news, but okay. Digital Blade Canada does say BMWs don't even have blinkers. So I mean,
I keep hearing BMW jokes and blinkers, and I saw a video today of the video evidence of the first time a BMW owner used a blinker, and it, it was blinking right and they went left, that type of thing.
I did see that one.
Okay.
John wants to know if you have an Aptera on order.
No, I don't.
Aptera's still a ways out, isn't it?
Yeah. But they supposedly are opening up the ordering for the Ford Bronco in the next week or two. So even though that's not electric, I might dive into that one because that looks like fun. But
I don't know if you know this, but we're quite a bit over time.
Yeah, we're over time.
I'm going to turn into a pumpkin momentarily.
We are borrowing time. So I do want to thank my Patreons also for being here. I want to thank all my viewers, all 12 of... No, I think we're at 38. Awesome numbers for this. So thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. We are going to be doing this every Tuesday until we die or something else happens. And it could
I'm voting for Giant Meteor.
For all of us?
No, just for me.
Okay, because you don't need a giant one. You want to take out the whole world?
That's true. As long as it can reach ground level, larger than maybe a golf ball, I should be out.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to help Brian, I'll fulfill his dream of the meteor in the head. Let me know. I'll send you his address. We'll be good.
Okay. Well, I also wanted to thank you, Bear, for your time. Pleasure chatting with you as always.
All right. It was a pleasure. JJ, I'm going to answer your questions in the comments, and I want to thank everyone else for being here. Thank you so much. We